So for me, I again I come back to the word watch. For me, a spiritual being is one who impartially sees, looks inside all the angels, all the demons, the diplomat, the politician in you. The instead of blaming the outside world, you take responsibility for yourself. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if you're an atheist or theist. For me, it's not about the beliefs that you carry, or even the best. The road to hell is also paved with good intentions. So for me, it really boils down to your impartiality towards yourself. So either you are me centric, like everything, the universe revolves around you, you are the priority, or you are the other centric, you are the universe centric. So a spiritual being really sees his or herself as a vehicle from the universe. So this actually intertwines with the concept of karma. So if we in Hinduism we talk about the word ahankara, ego. So if we do an action, in the Shiva Sutras, there is this beautiful line which says, you do good karma, you fall, you do bad karma, you also fall. So the
Right.
essence is that even when you're doing some good act, there is some trace of ego within you that says, "Oh, I am doing it." But the truth is, the universe, the God, whatever you call it, it is working through you. You are just this vehicle, and the more you understand and act from this understanding, the more mindful you are, the more spiritual being in you are. Like some people, they just put on a garbs, they put on orange robes, they can have a jap mala around their hands and prayer beads, rosaries, and they can go to the church regularly, they can read scriptures, but ultimately some people just become parrots after repeating those scriptures. So that is obviously, that's not mindfulness. So mindfulness is really, it boils down to your impartiality. It's all about the being. I always give this metaphor, like if being is the tree, the leaves, the flowers that bloom outside of it, that bloom out of it is kindness and empathy. So kindness, empathy, this is not something that you can learn, and this is not a habit, and this is not something external, right? It blooms from within. So I truly believe that all the answers are inside. Life begins when you start monitoring yourself and you take responsibility for your actions. You take responsibility for the thoughts you carry, for because whatever we think constantly, this is what we become, and ultimately this is what we are attracting. So because I was in this thoughtful, vibrant state, I was able to attract someone amazing as you, Richa. So this really shapes my external world. So acting from this understanding is a raw understanding and observation. This for me is mindfulness and karma summed up in this perspective. Yeah.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. Really amazing. Now I can say surely that you believe on the karma, isn't it?
Of course, yes, karma is a fact. It's a law. It's like, so when we talk
Mm.
about karma, we automatically assume that there is some being outside in the sky punishing us. But the thing is, that being is already inside of you. In meditation, there is this concept called witnessing. So while we are in our wake state, we are in the beta phase of mind, and then while we are in meditation, we go to the alpha state of mind. Our brain waves slow down to 7 to 14 cycles per minute or something per hour. I forgot that. Anyways, we switch to the alpha state, and then something happens when you go to sleep. There is still some part of you, obviously, that is awake. It is recording all the time. It is recording what you do in your waking state. It is recording what you do in your sleep state. And then there is a state even beyond the sleep state. We talk about this waking stage, and then dreaming stage, and then deep sleep state. A lot of people might get skeptical. What is this deep sleep state. So the idea is that consciousness, or this witnessing force, there is someone who is there. Like I'm talking right now. Who is doing the talking? Is it my eyes? Is it my brain? Science will explain it in a different way, but from the point of meditation, it is actually the witnessing force, that is the consciousness, pure consciousness, that is continuing to record everything. So even in this deep sleep state, as we meditate more, we are able to access deeper layers of the mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. So everything is recorded. So nothing in the universe can actually be deleted. Like there's this concept of akashic records. It is all the actions, all the sum of actions known as sanchita karma. It is all stored there. And anybody, if you go in a very deep state of meditation practice, you will be able to access that, hidden beyond layers of our thinking and several layers of the mind. So yeah, karma is actually intertwined. So I understand karma in this way. So karma actually, like suppose you did some action and you feel guilty about it, that's when you are creating the karma. It's not that, so karma is not in what you do, but rather from your intent. In Gita, Lord Krishna talks to, he says to Arjuna to fight for dharma, and Arjuna is like, no, 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 opposite side, all the gurus are there, all my relatives, my family members are there. I feel, I don't feel like this is the right thing to do. So karma, right and wrong, in a black and white sense, that is not at all true. Because what was right in one era, one particular age, may not be true in today's society. Karma is a very evolving concept. Right and wrong, nobody can dictate it to you. It's something that your inner GPS system has to figure out on your own. So Krishna told him, no, it's your duty, it's your karma. If you don't do this, then you are, if you are quiet, then you are actually silently supporting the wrongdoers. So once you are clear with your principles, with your priorities, you can act from that understanding. So we all know that lying is a bad thing, but sometimes lying can actually save a life. It can make someone happy. So there is no written code of conduct anywhere that says this is right and this is wrong. So this really varies from culture to culture, from time to time, and it ultimately matters. It depends on your intent. So ultimately, this is how Krishna convinces Arjuna to fight against them. This is the right thing to do. You are not, again, if you think that you are doing the act of murder, then you are so wrong. Then he shows his Vishwarupa and he says that everything is done by me. I am the sun, I am the stars, I am the grahas, you see the gurus opposite you, that is also me, you are also me, everything is me. This is just a play, and you are just the player. You do your own part, and that's it, finish. You don't have to carry any guilt and anything, any attachment. So in no matter what you are doing, if you are telling that no, I did the wrong thing, I did the right thing, then again you are being me centric. So when you become universe centric, that's when true spirituality dawns. This is how I understand karma.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are actually, you already explained really, really very beautiful definitions about the karma. Of course, whenever we also doing any kind of thing, till wake up time until like end of the day, and we are sleeping, we are eating, we are doing any kind of things. So it's depend on like whole thing is recorded by
Yes.
the God's camera. We cannot, we cannot neglect that thing, that we like our records is not see by the God. Definitely God's also like watching to everything, whatever we are doing. We are doing good, bad, anything. So definitely we have on the karma. So definitely we will like we are responsible, and definitely we also can get a result. Am I right, Sneha ji?
Yes, absolutely. You summed it up correctly. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So of course we can say karma, like if you want to be good person, if you want to be bad person, it's up to you. But if you want to be good person, so definitely God gives you a really very, really very beautiful life. And in the what can I say? Like Sneha ji, can you believe on that next janam?
Oh my God, you touched my favorite topic, and what I'm about to
Oh my
say
God.
might actually scare you or your audience. So the thing is, I had been meditating for 3 years, and before I don't believe in the concept of blind faith. I always felt like there is something beyond, like I'm not just limited to my body. I'm not just worm food. Okay, I just lead my life, and one day I just die and finish. I always knew there was something beyond all of this. And throughout my life, I used to find answers in Bhagavad Gita, in Bible. In college, I was the odd one out. Instead of hanging out and watching movies, I used to read Kabir Das and Meera and everything. Then ultimately, I started reading Osho and Krishnamurti, and then I started meditating. This constant thought was that when did I come to existence? And what point will I cease to exist? What is this? If we talk about witnessing, if we talk about it never ending, if we talk about being limitless, being endless, and merging with the consciousness, then perhaps there is no full stop to ourselves as well. So in 2019, I remember the date, 10th January 2019. I was really adamant. I actually prayed to the universe and God. I said, if I have some past, if I have walked in this same planet in a different meat suit, as I call the body, then please let me know. I'm dying of thirst to know, because if you don't tell me, I will stop eating. I will stop sleeping. I will just sit here until you give me answers. I was crying and I was desperately asking for answers. And the beautiful thing about the universe is that whenever you ask something sincerely with all your heart and it means much to you, the universe will answer you. I'm getting goosebumps as I say this. And I don't always share this, but I feel really comfortable sharing with you now. I really till 6:30, I was sitting, and in between I fell asleep again. I became awake, and I was just trying to concentrate in my third eye chakra, and I was meditating. Abruptly, early in the morning, 6:30, abruptly, I got some amazing flashbacks. I started having flashbacks of being in this completely different era. It was me, but it was not me, Sneha. It was someone else. It was someone else from these very
Your
eyes.
soul.
My mind was blown. I was seeing those life events move from futures. So last life, it took me some 4 hours to quietly process what just happened. It was mind blown, and I was just collecting all these memories, and I was trying to make sense of them. I had memories of that past lifetime. Starting from the age of 27, 28, because that's when I died in that past lifetime. And then I started going back to those teen years and to those childhood memories. And in that instance, I got answers to everything, why I am the way I am. In that past life, I was obsessed with clothes. I am still obsessed with clothes in this life. In that life, I wanted to know about spirituality. You know what happens in the Bhagavad Gita and scriptures? It is written that whatever you wish in your previous life, in the moment of death, what you are continuously thinking about, you are going to attract that. I'll give you this analogy. Like when we are looking for, when we are trying to book an Ola cab on an Uber cab, we put in the
Yeah.
destination. So your desire is the destination, and then you search for which driver is coming there so that he can pick you up and he can take you to that destination. So when you die, you are putting out your desire, your destination. At that time, whatever womb is ready. I'm saying in a very loose term, because a lot of people can argue that's not how it happens. In a very loose, basic term, I'm saying that whatever you
Yeah.
wish, based on your tendencies, based on your karma, your sanchita karma, and what you are about to experience next, based on your destiny. You are the creator of your destiny by by doing your karma, by constantly desiring something. So whatever you ask for, it is given to you. If at the time of death, at the time of death, this is a very esoteric concept. 80% to 90% of the people just ask for more money, or for more sexuality, and for more resources. This is common. But at the time of,
Greediness. We can consider that things. This is a greediness. Am I right?
yes, obviously
Yeah.
we are continuously running after those things. So in that moment of death, whatever you ask, I was an orphan in my previous life. And I desperately wanted parents. I thought that all the answers to problems lies will solve and disappear once I have loving, amazing parents. So with that wish and with the wish to know spirituality, in that lifetime I used to think that I need to be a nun or a monk in a church and serve Lord Jesus Christ. Otherwise, I'm betraying myself. So with those thoughts, I died, and I recovered the memory of hovering over that body when I died. And when I died, I just thought, what is next? What is going to happen? I was confused and feared. And flash forward, I just came to this life. I've had amazing, loving parents, and after meditation, my God, finally I recovered that past life. Later on, I recovered another past lifetime, and one of this had a major transformation in my life. First thing is, I stopped fearing death. Second thing is, I started to see what mistakes I did in those past times. I am not going to repeat those mistakes again. And thirdly, I started becoming conscious of, I truly believe that you are the average of all the five people that you spend your time with. I became very mindful and aware of all the people I will connect with. I started becoming very picky, and I started to become very chilled out and relaxed. Earlier, I used to stress a lot about small things, but after this happened, oh my gosh, I am immortal, and I have the freedom to return back to God the minute my desires, my clinging drop. I will merge with the universe. With this thought, it's like this is the best lifetime, and I'm just so grateful for this lifetime, and whatever life has taught me. My life completely changed. I'm so relaxed and chilled out now. I see people, whenever I see humans walking, I see, oh my God, these humans have no idea what past history they have. If they could unravel that history, they would not be spending time watching stupid movies and talking to stupid people and doing stupid things that they have already done in those past lifetimes. I hope this summed up in my crazy way.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also can feel that what is the value of meditation. That like if anyone anyone hasn't started about the meditations, and so you can see to Sneha ji, and definitely after that, actually you also can give the real example by Sneha ji. What is the value of what is the value of meditation? So definitely I would like to suggest to everyone, just try to follow meditations. You can be free from your stress. You also can be hold your mind as well. You also can be conscious. If you want to be successful in your life, if you want to be healthy, if you want actually healthy mind, definitely I just suggest to everyone, please just follow the mindfulness meditations. If you seriously, if you want to do that, definitely you can change your life. Even definitely you will realize that what you want to do in your life. Some people cannot recognize that, like what should we do, like we should like we can do what, I'm not too much educated, I'm not too much educated, so in this situation what can I do? I cannot do any kind of thing. But that person also cannot recognize that quality as well. Everyone has a really great skills, but because of the meditation, just because of the conscious of the mind, and that person cannot recognize to that to their self, and that's why it's happened. And that's why actually that person cannot recognize his or herself. Am I right, Sneha ji?
If you don't know yourself, then what have you been doing all your life?
Definitely, and it is really very necessary if you want to know about you. If you really, if you want to know, like a lot of people also suggest that you can see to yourself and just try to talk to yourself in front side of the mirror. But that is actually outwardly. If you are not happy by internally, if you are not thinking by internally by you, that who you are. So if you want to know that who you are, so definitely you can get the result by the meditations of like mindfulness meditation. So just try to do, and of course, everyone take results after the meditation.
Yeah. And not just meditation. I mean, we talk about different margas, different roads to the same truth. It could be bhakti, devotion, depending on your innate natural tendencies. So as India, we have been witness to so many amazing yogis. We've had Kabir Das, we have Meera, so many people. So whether it's bhakti that attracts you, or whether it's meditation that attracts you, or Gyan Marga, and everything, whatever interests you, start from that point. And if your seeking is sincere, if your questions are sincere, you will get answers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And by the actually, I would like to highlight one thing, that if you like, if you will follow the meditation, so definitely, if you are doing any kind of thing wrong in your life, and if you are going on the wrong track, and you are actually, you become a really very good bad person. And if you just started to recognize yourself, and you just started the meditations, okay, and in this situation, that you will get the time to think about you, so definitely you also can come on the right track as well. Okay, because you know that, like, why I'm doing like this. Of course, I'm a really very good person, and I also can do everything, whatever I want to do. So why I'm doing like that things? Why I'm doing stupid things? Why I will not do this type of thing? So definitely by the meditations and by the bhakti as well. That if you will do bhakti, so definitely you also can come on the really very right track. Whatever you are doing, of course, you also can escape all things. Whatever you did in your past, you also can forget easily, but of course, we have on the present. If you are doing bhakti, if you're doing meditation, so definitely you also can, you also can secure your present at least. And after that, if you will really, really, if you will keep your present really very good, definitely your future will be happy, will be really good, and definitely behalf of that, you actually will be amazed.
Yeah, rightly said, Richa. So yeah, this is really important. Once you suppose you are sitting in the audience, and in the stage you look at yourself doing your actions, and you impartially see, you will be able to see all your blunders, all your good and bad, and just embrace your scars and love yourself and appreciate your gifts, because unless you love yourself, you won't be able to love anyone else. So that's how compassion stems from. And yes, all the answers are inside waiting for you. So it's now or never. You need to start your spiritual practice now, whatever it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also can say, after listening to Sneha ji, so of course we also can believe on we also believe on the karma and action as well. Whatever you are doing, any actions, your action is depend on you, depend on your presently. What you are doing, it's up to you. Like, it's up to you, because you have sense, you have mind, you have everything. But it's up to you what you are doing, and your karma or your action is reflect on your personality. So it's up to you whatever you want to do that, but that thing is reflect into the future. And behalf of that, of course, we already had, spoken about that, sometimes god, god already recorded all things. So definitely god will give you answers. You will have to face all that things, whatever you are doing. Okay, if you are doing a really very good thing, so definitely God gives you a really very beautiful life, as we already mentioned that things. And if you are doing bad things, so definitely, like, no one will not digest. You will have to digest, because you did bad work. You did already, everything is bad. But you also can secure about all things by the meditations, and you cannot be blunder in your life. You can come out, or you cannot be so much overthinking. And if you are thinking like that, so definitely, because of your overthinking, you can mess up all things. So by the meditations you can come out. And actually, Sneha ji, actually I have one question. Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, please, anything. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Actually, when you just highlighted about the bhakti, so actually sometimes, like, we also like singing a bhajan, and we also like, if I talk about the Radha ji, a biggest example of the bhakti of the Krishna ji. So actually, but in the current scenario, if we will talk about the presently, so what do you think? like 2 days really real bhakti there or not? There is actually real bhakti or not?
Of course, there is real bhakti. Like, if you find, real bhakti, it can be anywhere. It can be in the form of a simple housewife, or a simple father, or a simple child. It really depends on your sincerity. And I think bhakti is a path of innocence for me. The one word that I associate with bhakti is innocence. And whether it's Meera, or Radha, this innocence and this pure surrender, like
Yeah.
Lao Tzu talks about surrender. You are in the river, and you are floating like a like a log of wood, and you know that ultimately the river is going to reach the sea. So if somebody comes and thrashes you and insults you, you still continue on your journey. You see it as, you don't take offense. Like after what happened, I remembered my past life. I started becoming more I started inculcating equanimity. So if somebody insults you, or if anybody compliments you, it doesn't go to your heart. It remains outside in your, like if somebody throws mud at you, I will just go by, I'll just go home and clean. And now I know it sounds very preachy, but trust me, once you are devoted to the universe, and once you are anchored to your being, it doesn't really have any impact on you. It's like if somebody steps on some mud, only the shoe has to be washed. You don't have to wash your feet. So I see my body as my garb, as my meat suit. I am pure consciousness. I am here only for 2 days. Yesterday I was that orphan. Today I'm Sneha. Tomorrow I'll have another life of someone else, or I will merge into the consciousness. If I am God, we are one entity. This is how the bhakta starts. The bhakta believes that me and God, we are one and the same. When a bhakta is doing puja, they're they're putting on the incense and their sandalwood, anything. I mean, you could be from any religion. When you're doing that, your one pointedness, ultimately, whether it's meditation or bhakti, this one pointedness, this energy focusing on that same divine energy, because whatever you focus, you become. You are just a reflection of what you focus. So when you're continuously focusing on that one universal energy, you just merge. And then there is no me separate me, there is no separate God. This is the essence of Vedanta, and this is the essence of bhakti for me. If you are able to surrender to God by being in the world, by carrying out your duties and being detached to your actions, like what Lord Krishna was saying, don't nishkama karma, do your karma, but don't be attached to the fruits. You leave that to God. So coming back to Lao Tzu, you are flowing into the liver. You don't ask God, why me? Why is everybody insulting me? Why is blaming me? You just flow, and you don't bother by. Anybody gives you a compliment, that becomes the same thing. Same person tomorrow may not give you a compliment, they will give you a nice gali. So you also take it, you accept it. You see it as coming directly from God, not coming from that particular individual. So you become this actor in the play. You play out your role, you have fun, you play out your game. It's like playing a game of Monopoly. You don't start crying when a player wins. It's just a game. So we stop taking things seriously. You have this one pointed devotion to God, and that for me is just essence of bhakti. And I just love that. I love it when I see someone in a temple crying and praying to God and merging. I can really feel that. It's beautiful. I love the fact that you mentioned this. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes some people also saying that it's not necessary that if you want to do bhakti, so of course you also can do bhakti only and only for the God. You also can do bhakti like in the tree, like a lot of people also. Like I
Yes,
really so much,
God is
I
God.
really so much feel.
God is not separate from us.
Exactly,
Separate from
absolutely.
us. So this duality doesn't even exist. If you don't see God, to the God within you, if right now I'm not seeing the God within Richa, then I'm just a charlatan. I'm just preaching rubbish. If I don't do
Yeah.
that, then what am I doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That
of
is
course, I mean, like everyone can see God is everywhere. God is everywhere in the sense of the, if you just see in the tree, God is also there. If you just see water, so water is in the, or like in the water is also God here. So a lot of people also like, I want to give the messages, and I don't know that. Sneha ji, please just tell me that I'm saying right or wrong. Could you please correct to me? Okay. A lot of, I just see a lot of people also, like बहुत सारे पत्ते तोड़ते हैं like पार्क में पेड़ों के, ठीक है. So I'm not saying that it is a better God. If you need for like if you need for medicine, if you need for worship to the God, if you want to do some kind of things by that by the leaves, so definitely you can break it. Otherwise, if you don't have need, just for fun and you want to enjoy, and you like you are, तुम क्या कर रहे हो, like means you are so much like it is really very beautiful, but because of your fun, because of your stupid things, and you are not thinking about that tree, that tree are really beautiful by the leaves. But you are like, if you want to be bhakti, like if you want to do bhakti, so definitely you can do bhakti and everywhere. You also can think this is the part, this is also part of the God, because you are doing bhakti of the God. So of course, tree, like God is also is in the tree. So if you will break the leaves, if you waste the water, so definitely water will not give you a really very good in like right now you have really very good amount of quantity you are using, but because of that your like waste of the water, so say that you are actually real, you are real actually priest, you are real bhakt. No, I'm saying right, Sneha
Absolutely,
ji?
yes. I mean, there is this feeling of oneness, whether you are doing meditation or bhakti. If you don't feel that oneness with everyone around you, then it's just fake. Like some people just parrot and they just pretend. Then it's just pretending. There's no compassion.
Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, if we are, if we are teasing to anyone, if we are trying to, pull the legs to anyone, so definitely it is an out good way. If you're really very biggest taste and you are
Yeah.
doing like this, so it's useless. It is actually useless in your life if you're doing like this.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are continuously witnessing your actions, you are monitoring yourself like a police, then you won't do anything that can hurt anyone. Ultimately, it depends on your sincerity of your being, how much you are able to penetrate layers of thinking and that jungle of thoughts, and how far you are able to know yourself. Ultimately, it's about knowing myself. And you don't even need to be a meditator or bhakta. You can, like, so many times I come across people who are just, they are reading normal books and they have average choices. They don't even go to the temples, they don't even meditate, but when I talk to them, I feel so surprised to see the amount of compassion that they carry. So ultimately, that is spirituality. I remember I had a friend, she used to refrain from stepping on ants. She used to say, I don't know how other humans do this. I was in fourth standard then, and we were only like 9 years or something. But that insight of hers, that why should I step in top of an ant, because that is also a living being. I'm also a living being. This is a commonsensical concept that nobody can teach you. It stems from your understanding. It's perfectly logical. And if you don't feel that, then no amount of books and no amount of training can impose that on you.
Absolutely, exactly. So I'm so much happy to talk about the meditations, about the karma, about etiquette, about your personality, and I really so much impressed when you just when you told about etiquette in a one word respect. So I was really inspired by you, Snehaji. And now I would like to ask some questions about the about movie. Can I ask?
Sure, yeah.
Actually, I'm so much crazy to talk about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
also
So
fire away.
actually, Actually, my beautiful friends, actually, I'm just talking, actually, I already had talked many times to Sneha ji, but this is the first conversation on the video. So that's why I'm so much crazy to talk, to know about the film industry. So actually, a little bit explained by you. Actually, we know very well about the film industries, but you are actually right now live. So of course, I also want to know by you about the film industry.
Sorry, I didn't
Yes,
get you. The
Neha,
voice
can
was
I
breaking.
audible?
About
Okay,
film.
okay. Okay. Question is that actually I also want to know about you that actually before that, before meet you, to be honest, I'm telling you truth that before you, because I didn't meet to any great personality. Whenever a person's or give me a really task, like in the topics, by the questions, by the quiz, and if someone is asking to me who's really, really favorite great personality in your life, and I said, Sneha ji, I don't want to hurt to anyone and you as well. I said only one thing that I don't like to any celebrity because we cannot meet to them. Okay, that we like they already like behind the parda. Okay, that you also can watch on the LED. You also can watch like on the phone, but you cannot meet. So how can we think they are really good, they are really very bad, and they are really like that? Because actually they are also doing work, they are also doing acting by the role of the acting. Okay, like they also got a role as a good, as a really very crazy, so of course they are also following the rules. Am I right, Sneha ji?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's why I could never consider to myself that who's my favorite personality in my life. And that's why I just always say one thing only. For me, a really very great celebrity for me, that is really really good human beings. And that's why it's not mean that I right I'm talking with you, and really when I just listen to you, or like really in the real life when I listen to you, and I now I must say grateful that you are my actually celebrity. Because of that things, it's not I'm not saying that because you are actor. No, actually it is truth. Okay, I cannot change it. Okay, and I don't want to change it also. So but actually you are actor. Okay, but thing is that when I just listen to you about a lot of really very beautiful topics about the karma, about meditations, about a lot of gyan of the Gita as well. So after that, now I can consider to myself, to me about me, that you are actually my celebrity.
Okay, I'm just a friend. Okay, I'm just an ordinary girl, and I'm a friend.
No, no, of course you're my friend as well, but yeah, actually, a thing is that actually we cannot recognize to that personality. Okay, what kind of nature they are having. Okay, so that's why. So question is that about the film industry that actually it's like it is actually really easy. I cannot say that it is easy, but still I'm asking the questions that you also living in your family, that you are married or unmarried, ma'am?
Unmarried.
Unmarried. Okay. So your parents and your like siblings, anyone. So of course you will miss a lot to them. So sometimes it's really very hard that you cannot meet them on the special days, like on the like birthday, on the like on the wedding anniversary, on the like any special day, on the results day. So that time, like what kind of you feel that like it is really very interesting life of the film industry, and it is really very hectic life. But yeah, sometimes it is really very enjoyable. But whenever we think about the relatives, so what do you think about that?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. Before that, I was just gonna tell you this that it's the same with me as well. Whenever somebody asks me who is your favorite actor or celebrity, I say there's no one because while I value the talent, I don't really see that person as this magical celebrity. They are a human and I'm a human. So while I respect the
Absolutely.
talent, I don't know them. I have not met them personally. So why should I care? But I actually love asking people who's your favorite scientist, who's your favorite thinker, who's your favorite author, because that says a lot about them. Yeah, now coming back to this topic. So, yeah, you said that sometimes, yes, it happens. Sometimes I miss my own birthday. Sometimes it's my parents' anniversary. Sometimes it's my friends' birthdays, and I cannot make it up to them. So what we usually do is we celebrate it in some other day, like if it's my dad's birthday or mom's birthday or mine, I celebrate it beforehand. And actually that day becomes more fun, because suppose it's a friend, or suppose it's my mom or dad's birthday, I just take them to the shooting place. I tell the director that this is the birthday boy, birthday girl standing before you, or it's their anniversary, and I really wanted to spend time with them, so they're with me here. So I'll be working, but I will spend time with them. This is how I actually try to compensate it, and then obviously we celebrate it later on.
Oh,
But
that's
it
really
actually
cool.
makes that occasion more fun.
Okay, okay. So sometimes it's really very actually it will be so much hard for you to convey a really closest person. That person is really very near your heart, and that person so much actually that person actually I can say that person is a stubborn, and that person no I want you today. I want your presence today. So in this situation, that how to handle that thing?
Yeah, then again, same thing. Like I can't help it, so I mean, yeah, based on priorities, I can't really help it. I just try to do my best. So suppose it's an you're talking about occasions, right? So yeah, like once I had shooting and it was 31st Eve, and my parents decided we will do this and do that, but we couldn't do that. But I actually talked to the directors and producers that we're all here in New Year's Eve. Maybe we should do something about it. And usually they're very friendly, and they say that okay, we will do something about it. We will celebrate it here, and then we actually end up having a better New Year's Eve than the one we planned. So I go with the flow, and whatever happens, I accept. And I love the fact that my parents are very supportive, and we're just like this awesome team, and I love how it goes. So that's how I manage occasions and work like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. So, yeah, actually, it is really very tough job. It is really very tough job. It is so easy to acting. Okay, but it is really very hard to convey to anyone. But yeah, if you love to that person and that person's love you, so definitely that person will understand you. That person will understand your responsibility as well. So actually, like question is that, Sneha, have you ever faced any day which is really loved by your like by your family? Suppose that what can I say? Yeah, I didn't get the question. Question is that actually, do you know Hindi?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's really great. Okay, so question is that ऐसा कभी कोई दिन गया था, मतलब कभी आपके दिन ऐसा कोई दिन आया है लाइफ में कि मतलब कि तुमने बहुत अच्छे से जिया, लाइक वो बड़ा स्पेशल डे था, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, ऐसा भी दिन आया है जैसे मतलब कोई स्पेशल है कि बर्थडे से भी बढ़कर है, या रिजल्ट वाला दिन है, या फिर जिस दिन आपने जब सुना था दैट नाउ यू आर परफेक्ट टू बिकम अ एक्टर एट दैट टाइम, मे बी शायद हम चाहते हैं कि हमारी मम्मा हो या मेरा फ्रेंड हो या पापा जी हो, लाइक कोई भी हो, तो और लेकिन उस टाइम पे सबसे बड़ी गुड न्यूज है, सबसे बड़ी गुड न्यूज, लेकिन सराउंडिंग में कोई भी नहीं है, तो लाइक व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग्स लाइक हैव यू फेल्ट, लाइक ऐसा हुआ है?
Yeah, so this actually reminds me of going back to the day. It was 5th December in 2015. So I was in acting school in 2015, and I had a lot of fun with my friends in acting school. So one day, one of the faculty members, he actually told me that there is going to be an audition in Z Channel. You should just go here. And okay, I just carried, I took it normally. I didn't have any expectations, anything. And whenever I would go to auditions or anywhere else, I would always have my mom come along with me. So that day, it was just a normal day, and I was just getting ready. It was my first audition, and I was shampooing and I was grooming myself, and I was just it was just a completely normal day. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't even think about the outcome. And mom and I, we went to the studio, Bharat Lakshmi studio here in Kolkata. And I saw there was a line of hundreds of girls and boys, because the role for which they were auditioning, it was unisex. Anybody can do that. So I was observing that there was a huge line, and I was continuously asking the person in charge that I have not got the script yet. Could you please tell me? And he was like, okay, you go back, you go back. He was not really bothered with me. I wrote my name and registered and everything and came back. And suddenly, after 1 hour, what happened? I thought the one of the persons sitting with us, he was saying that sometimes these auditions take up to 3 or 4 hours time. You know what? I'm just going to leave. I don't think I'm not very feeling optimistic. And she was telling me that a lot of partiality happens, a lot of negativity, and she left. Then slowly after a while, I saw a lot of people left, but so mom and I were like, okay, first time we are here, we have time, we will continue. So okay, I stayed. Then after sometimes I saw some more people left, and then suddenly this one person, I didn't even know he was the assistant director, and he just called me. He said, go and sit here. And I was like, okay. That day I was actually it was I was just wearing shorts and a top, and I just went inside. I wasn't even familiar with the faces. All the actors of that serial Goindagini, they were all sitting in the makeup room. I was like, what kind of audition is this? Why am I made to sit here in the makeup room? Then this
A
producer.
lot of questions in your mind. A lot of questions in your mind that time.
Yes, it was a strange occasion. Then one of the actress, she said, "Would you like to have tea?" And they were very polite with me, and I was just quietly sitting there, and I was just looking around and observing what they were talking. And then after a while, this assistant director, he gave me the entire script, this thick scroll. He just handed it in my hand. Then one of the actors said, why is he giving that script to that girl? She was just whispering, one of the actors. And even I was wondering the same. Then he said, just mug up this script, okay? These are your lines, mug it up quick, 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, I will get it. Wow, what a fabulous audition. I'm sitting in midst of
Wow.
actors. Nice. So I just mugged up the lines, and I was actually going through the other pages, what is happening with this character. And I thought, wow, live audition on the set. Nice. Okay. Then this makeup artist, she came, and then this director came. She was like, this girl, makeup. She doesn't need makeup. She's just normally like this. And that day I didn't even like I had some tinted moisturizer. I was like and I just had some eyeshadow and tinted moisturizer and lipstick, and I didn't really do much. And yeah, I'm glad I was wearing liner. Some days I skip liner. So that day I was just prepared because it was my first audition. She said no need for makeup, and I was like, acha aisa bhi hota hai, before audition they even put on makeup on you in case you're not having makeup. Nice, wow, they have so much time. So, and I was just carrying on. I was having so much fun. Then I was taken to the set, and the protagonist of that show, he came and he shook his hands with me, and he said, are you ready? Are you feeling nervous? I was like, it's my first audition, yes, but no, I'm not really that nervous. In fact, I'm just wondering what is happening. And he said, don't you know you are going to be on TV? I was like, what? What? In my mind, I was like, what is happening? So
No,
after,
actually, I'm listening. I'm listening. Sneha ji, I'm
okay,
listening. Yeah.
so I was like, what? And then my mom was in a different place, and I was like, okay, that I'm not nervous at all. and and the director came, he explained me the scene, and he said, are you ready? And I was supposed to be standing next to this telephone, and he explained me the scene and all. The I was telling my lines and everything. Then the work happened. Then it got over, and I just came out, and then I was given with all the formalities, and And yeah, it happened like a completely normal day. I went out and I went to mom. She was like, "What's happening?" I asked mom, "You tell me what's happening. I think I'm going to be on TV." And then
Oh
mom said,
God.
"Yeah, I think you're right." Even then we were saying, "I think." We were not sure. She was like, "I think you're right. You know, the people here, they're telling me the same thing, that you're going to be on TV." I was like, "Okay, let's see." Even then I was in this phase. Let's see. Shooting happened. Everything happened.
You
And I
you
was
didn't
like,
have
let's see.
you didn't have any kind of expectations that you also like will come out on the TV or not. But actually you got to know that you are selected. You were selected that time, but
Shooting
still you
happened. The scene
but
happened. Yeah.
okay,
And
okay.
they, in film industry, you only get answered only when you ask. Like even after the shooting happens, you really have to ask which channel is this happening, which serial is this happening. Sometimes you may not even know that. So I didn't ask all of that. I just asked all the people around me. They were like, you are in this serial called Goinda Kinni. That person who was asking you if you wanted to have some tea, she's actually a very revered actor in Bengali film industry. You don't know her? I said, no, I don't know her. Then on my return journey, I was actually Googling that serial. I was Googling, oh my God, I was just saying,
It
oh,
means
this director, oh, this is Mr. Mehta, Mohta, he was the director, he was talking to me. And oh, this is the protagonist. That's when I Googled and I researched.
oh my God.
And then I went back home,
Like
then
before that, when you just made this personality, that time you didn't aware about those. But
I
after that, you just search on the Google, and after that, you got to know that was actually Mehta ji, and that was a really very great personality, which like which you
was a daughter of
handle
Bengali.
for a competition.
Yes, I had no idea. And I never watched any Bengali serials or movies. I just came back. Next day I had a shoot at a different place. My dad saw me on TV, and my dad told everyone, all his colleagues and friends, all my friends, I also told them that this episode will be coming, and everyone saw it. I didn't watch it. I was in the other shoot. Then later on I got to see it, and then finally I was like, wow, this was a big surprise. So yeah, coming back to that message that I always reflect upon. When you do something non-attached, amazing things are going to happen to you. I truly believe in that.
Oh, that's really great. So actually, question is that first of all, sorry for that. Sorry, actually, Sneha ji. Like
But
actually, I wanted to greet to you, and again, I wanted to welcome in the film industries. Actually, the time when you just told to me that you were selected on the fifth December 2015, when you just struggling that thing, and that day was really normal for you, but you were selected. So I just sorry for that. Actually, I was really, like wondering, and I just listening to you.
my
So I just forgot to clapping for you. Clapping for you. I wanted to clapping for you. Seriously, that was really,
thank you
really
so
great.
much.
I'm just feeling that. I'm just feeling that it's actually this is a real story. So I'm just really enjoying. Thank you so much. Thank you. So actually, Sneha, like what did you think? Did you think ever in your life that you will become an actress, or you will become a really very normal girl? Like, what do you like? Did you think in your life? Have you ever think about the film industry or any professional life? Like, what did you do in your life? Like, sometimes, like what happened, we want to do something, like we want to become a doctor, but still, like right now I'm a teacher. So it's happened with everyone. So what did you decorate in your life? That what will you do? What will you become in your life? Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Going back to my past, and I'm just reflecting on this. So, when I was 4 years old, I started writing poetry. When I was 10, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to learn ballet. I wanted to learn, I actually played the piano when I was 4. So, I didn't know, I was actually directionless in this perspective. So, I didn't know what exactly I was going to become. I was more like, it was actually my mom and dad. My parents used to tell me that, ordinarily parents ask their children in India to be doctor or an engineer. We're not going to do that with you. We give you the full freedom. And yes, my mom and my dad, they always had this strong opinion. I have not seen this in many parents. They've always had this strong opinion that I'm going to be famous for something or the other, that I'm going to bring around some change in the world that is going to revolutionize or something. They've had these strong opinions for a very long time. And I was used to listening to this since childhood, although I didn't take it very seriously, but I was used to listening to this. She will be world famous. She will just do something that no one has done. And they were very optimistic. So doctor, then I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to be a poet, I wanted to be a singer, so many things. I never planned on to be an actress. Whenever I just remember this one thing. In my home, after I was done with school's homework, I used to sit with all my stuffed animals and Barbie dolls, and I used to play with them. I used to write the script, and I used to make my bed as a stage. I used to make all those stuffed animals sit as an audience, and I used to perform and dance and sing, and I was act. I would make different types of voices for different types of teddy bears, and I used to enact the story. This was my hobby. Even then, I didn't realize that I wanted to be an actor. Sometimes in school, I was asked to read a poem, and well, I would read that poem with a lot of energy and emotion, and the teachers used to comment that, the way Sneha read it, it's really lovely. And I never, even then, I never really thought I would be an actress. So flash forward, I was in 12th class. I thought I will take a biotechnology. I would take up biology. Then I actually changed my stream to humanities, and I took up economics. Even in college, I was actually approached by some people in Delhi. They were suddenly one day in Facebook and social media. I was approached that you have a very photogenic face. Would you be interested in doing any kind of work in film industry? Then I started getting assignments for print shoots and modeling. I was part of this music video called Delhi Kuri. This was 2013 in my final year. So that's when I started considering, and I thought I actually wanted to do my higher education till PhD in philosophy, or anything that I was passionate with. I never thought about film industry. So this, because I started getting offers, it made me reflect that, oh, all my life I had been interested in acting. Maybe I should do this. And then one of my friends advised me that instead of going to Mumbai, you should maybe try in regional cinema. You're Bengali, and you have the face and everything. You should try that. So, I have always made spontaneous decisions in my life, and I have always trusted my intuition. My mom has done the same thing, and it has always worked for me. I knew about the risk that I was taking. Like, if I didn't make it, I would have to like go back. So I always take it as an adventure, and I always like to do what feels right for me in the now. So I went to acting school. I topped in my acting school. Then that crazy audition happened, and here I am today talking, introducing myself in front of all of you as an actress. And then meditation happened out of nowhere. So things happen. The universe commands, the universe wishes my command, and I just listen and I move along. That's how it has worked for me. I have had no plans, and for me, it was actually no plan B. Once I decided that I was going to be an actress, there was no going back. I was to give my 100%. And yes, once I decided I will be an actress, I was completely optimistic. I just knew I'm going to make this happen. The universe will support me if it has to. Yeah.
Exactly. So we can say there is a like luck is really reflect in your personality, and actually I'm so much happy right now. Seriously, I don't know how to talk with you. Okay, so actually, when I just listened to Sneha ji, that when I just asked her question is that you also wanted to do something in your life, but you are an actor. So that was actually I just thought and I just realized one thing, that it's happened with everyone. Like people also want to like something, and that person is actually do something is different. Okay, so of course you also can see that about the Sneha ji. So definitely she also wanted to become a doctor. She also wanted to really very good writer as well. She also really very good reader as well. But now she's a really very very great actress. and she's also making a really so much movie. I don't have need to tell to anyone because you also can search on the Google, and of course you also can get to know all things about the Sneha ji. But thing is that actually this is the first time for me that seriously like Sneha ji, that you just give me your precious time. I did never think about me that the one day I'm also talking to Sneha ji. And actually, thing is that we also think, like to be honest, we also think that is actually real a great personality, and they don't have time. Why they also giving to us time? Because we are actually beginner, and we also started the journey, and we are not too much like belong to high society for families. But thing is that I want to say again and again one thing, that if you are really very good human, and I also can say that we already had described about the etiquette. So, of course, your nature, your words, your speaking style, and your what can I say? Like whatever you are doing, you just making a relations to any person, known person. It's not necessary. Necessary is really, really important. That what you are doing, what kind of relations you are actually making to anyone. So, of course, that is thing is actually really, really great. And because of that things, I cannot say that I'm really very good at behavior, but because of Sneha, a really very good, kinded heart, a really, really very peach. She is so, so, so much the salt of the earth. She is vivacious, sagacious. She is so sweet, of like as a sugar. So right now, I just got a chance to conversation with her. I'm really, really grateful,
Embarrassed. I
Sneha.
would just hide my face like this and I would just start. Thank you
No,
so much
Sneha.
for your kind words, and everybody's time is precious. So ultimately, for me, the priority is I should be spending time with a person who is in a similar energy and who is a conscious and kind being, rather than I don't care if you are the prime minister or the president. If I don't connect with you from this energy level, and if I don't see that the core values matches with mine, then I would just say no. So for me, being is really the most important thing. And what I love about you, Richa, is your simplicity and how easily you understand things, and how you correlate it with your practical everyday life, and the questions that you ask. It really shows the depth in you, in your being. And I'm so grateful to you for today's conversation. I've had a fabulous time. I would never want this conversation to end. This is really amazing.
Thank you so much. Same here, same here. I also don't want to do that. I also don't want to stop this conversation till my last breath as well. I also don't want to stop. But because of that, I'm just thinking about your precious time. Otherwise, I can with you whole night, whole day.